Hello, everybody. It is Monday, the 19th of September. This video is partly a personal message to somebody, but also a message to all. Personal message because this has come out of something that has just happened, where I got hurt over the weekend. And from what I've been looking at and thinking about before, it became very clear to me what actually just happened and what is happening to a lot of people right now. So in that, it is of interest, should be of interest to all. So what I have been looking at, I've been going back to Carl Jung and the idea of the persona and the shadow, especially those two. And it has come to me that, and I don't know, I'm getting a book by Carl Jung at the moment, I'm waiting for it, to see what his view of this, of the shadow especially, actually was, because I'm not quite clear. I can hear one way and I can hear another. You know, one is that the shadow is actually something negative, or the other is that the shadow is something that can be of use to you, you know, a servant. Because when I read this, or when I watched the videos about this, it became very clear to me what is actually talking to me. And that is my shadow. When I had this thought of I want to give, and a very strong emotion, and again thinking about myself as a block, you know, just Angela as a block, not of the different parts that make me up. So, and then projecting outward, I want to give to others. Angela as a block wants to give to others, which is also true. But again, at the first instance, look inside of yourself before you look outward. And it was my shadow, the aspect of myself that I am not using in the persona, that say we want to give. We want to become a reality and act in this reality in a positive way. And there is the thing where I'm not clear whether Carl Jung actually thought the shadow was just a negative thing, because it's not. There is no negative part of yourself. It doesn't exist. You are made of the light. And every aspect of you can be a light worker, a worker of good. It is using them at the right time and adding the emotional energy to the correct amount. That is when they do good. But that is becoming a master of yourself. And that must start with accepting yourself in your entirety. Because we are being driven into a persona. Some of us are being driven into a persona. Others have created a persona because it serves them. The persona of the banker, for instance. Yeah? The persona of the one that is in control, rules over the money. It serves them, it gives them riches. Of course, again, they had to create a shadow of other aspects of themselves that will not, compassion, for instance, you know, really does not serve this. So you leave that out, you put that into the shadow compartment, not to be used in awareness, not to come into awareness. But by doing that, and that is the first instance in which we create death, where we do damage to ourselves, because we must use our inner energy suppressing parts of ourselves, and that energy is not being used to do something that gives to life. Yeah? So it's a wrong use of energy. And Yeah, it is a drain of your life energy, and it will eventually lead to death. And it's funny, like, these aspects of yourself that might be aggressive. Yeah, a warrior, aggressive warrior. So you sit in church and you say, oh, no, 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 that's bad. You must condemn that. Keep it down. Use your energy to keep that aspect of yourself down. Become the lamb, lovey-dovey lamb. Yeah, forgive everybody. And no, if you are the warrior, that is pride. That is asserting yourself above others. That is bad. And they're preaching that to you while they're asserting themselves on you. Yeah? Talk about full-on hypocrisy. So, again, that's the first thing. And an example that came to me was like in a case of a rape. And there is where you use your capabilities and your different personas. Those that are in the shadow and those that are in awareness at the moment. In a correct way. Start with a reasonable person that you are, by any means. Say, somebody comes on to you in that way, you say no. Firm no. He still comes on, use reasoning. Yeah? I'm not attracted to you. I don't want to have sex with you. This is wrong. I don't want it. He's still coming onto you. At some point, you can let the warrior out. And it's rather basic. But if you come on any further, I'm going to crush your balls. And that capability is inside of you. Yeah, and you shouldn't judge it. Because it might come in really handy if reason cannot do the works. The beast must do it. And you have every reason to let that out, to protect yourself. That is one of your options. See, by creating a persona, you're actually completely limiting your options. That is one of your options, and you should not feel guilty about it. Do it. You have every right to do that without any feeling of guilt whatsoever. But you should start with reason, and that is your titans, your emotional energy. Start with full on reason, but the more reason goes out of the way, the more the energy can come in. Yeah, and if brute force is what is needed, then let your reason stand to one side. Not going out completely, that's the thing, not going out completely. It still has to be there with an intention that will direct the energy, and the intention being, I'm going to crush your balls. Yeah? So it's still directing the energy to that part of their anatomy to do damage. It's like a doctor, yeah? Start with the least amount of, a lot of medicine is actually poison. So start with the least amount of poison. And if that cures, it's okay. But, as the illness or whatever comes up against you increase the poison. At some point you come to the point of kill and cure. Okay, that's your only option, do it. But don't start with it. That is. And here's another thing, that the Bible clearly speaks of the many faces of God. God is wrath. God can be jealousy. God can be love. God can be compassion. Yeah? And you have to stand in awe of God and all his different powers. But you're not allowed to be that yourself, although you have all those faces inside of you. Mostly shoved into the shadow, condemned inside of you, but glorious in God. Hypocrisy, complete and utter hypocrisy, and made to limit your options. And you are killing yourself doing it. Now, And here comes what happened to me at the weekend. Yeah? And that is that a person that I considered a friend, not anymore, is of the kind that will let the titans loose straight away. I mean, reason steps out of the way and whoosh, just like that. And indiscriminate. I mean, indiscriminate, whatever. And on those emotion comes thoughts here, there, and anything, everything. Whoosh. And it's hurtful. It was hurtful to me because that was the next thing they did, is they turned me into a straw man. You know, the idea of a straw man, where they completely disregarded what my beliefs are, what I've been saying over and over again about God, about limits, about how you do this correctly. But whatever the thoughts were and the emotion, it was like, you said that. And that's where I became the straw man. Yeah? You said that. You are the one that is saying that, which I never did. And then jeering and mocking me, the straw man, as if I was the person that said that. And that was so bloody hurtful. But again, it's at that moment when you let the emotional titans loose without any focus, just let reason stand out of the way and let the bloody thing loose, you are actually becoming the mentality, the same mentality of that you find in a mob that is mindlessly burning down a city. You have become that person. I mean, you've become a one-person mob, obviously. But that's the only thing that is different, is that you're on your own. Yeah? If you were surrounded by others, you would become a part of that mob because you are already that mentality. That's what you've become. And just letting rip. So, and again, the correct use of our energy, as I said, reason must be there to give a focus to the energy. And again, an example that came to me is karate. Yeah? And that is where this thing is actually being used like a laser, with complete precision. And that is where when they hit a plank of wood, thick plank of wood, yeah, their focus is not on the wood or on the point of impact, but beneath it, at the outcome. Yeah, that's where the focus is, when the hand has already gone through the wood. And then they laser-like focus all the energy. And that is reason. Reason is focusing the energy, is leading the energy to that point. And that is how they go through the wood. If they were mindlessly battering around, unfocused on the wood, putting all their energy in it, they would break every bone in the hand. Which is, again, another way of killing yourself, is to let the titan rip. Because as this energy, wild energy, it comes out of you and through you. Don't think it is going through you and out of you without doing any damage inside of yourself. Because it will. Because your reason is not the master of your energy to focus it. But that is what we must become. We must become that being, and that is God. That is God that knows all its aspects of itself and accepts and doesn't judge as good and bad. Again, that's where our judgment of good and bad is completely skewed with. Yeah? So you see people doing bad things, like murderers, for instance. Yeah? Murderers that are killing people indiscriminately. And then you judge the murderer, the aspect of yourself that is capable of killing. Yeah? Keep that down. Put it in the shadow. Beat it continuously. Whereas the fault is not actually the capability to kill. The capability to kill can be used in a way that protects life, that gives to life, in killing animals, for food. In killing an adversary if there is, again, reason didn't work. So use your last option. Use the killer that is inside of you. But then you use him in the correct way. So it's not, the murderer is not wrong in that he's able to kill, but the way that he's killing. That might be indiscriminate just for the kicks of it, or it might be to enrich himself. That means he is using that aspect of himself in the wrong way, and that is where evil comes in. It's not the aspect itself. The aspect itself is made from light and can be used as a light worker at the right moment, with the right intention, which is to save or to give or to create food or whatever, something that gives to life. And in that moment, the killer becomes a light worker. Again, we were driven into condemning the killer. It's not his fault. It's the way he is being used that is wrong. But if we suppress the killer while they can go and slaughter millions, Anyway, there's one of our options has been taken away from us, and we must have it back. So, what do I do about the situation that I am in? As I said, this world is going through a change. We will go through extremely challenging times, and we will need all of our aspects. We will need all of our aspects to go through this. So we must accept all of our faces, all of our options, and use them to give to life. In order to do that, we must first of all look at ourselves. And this person, and I've been trying to tell them that, look at your shadow, use your energies correctly, be the master of yourself. And they refuse to do that. They stubbornly refuse to look at themselves. In fact, again, I was jeered at in a video saying, the only reason that you are told to look at yourself is so that you don't help others. No, it is physician, heal yourself, to become a healer. This person actually thinks that in her demented emotional state, she can actually heal others. Which is in that state where the titan is loose without any reason. It is destructive. It can only be destructive. So that person is the destroyer and thinks itself a healer. Now, I got the backlash of this, and it hurt. And it is basically what I've heard so many times, is you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. And you can stand there and take the kicks and get hurt yourself. You're not required to do that. You are not required to self-sacrifice. This is a time where we have to evolve, and we do not evolve into something other than ourselves, but into the fullness of ourselves. We become what we actually truly are, the fullness of our options. And those that, this is a time of change, and it's also a time of extinction. Those that are not able to do this, those that will not do the work in themselves, those that will not focus on becoming that creature they need to be to survive this, they will go extinct. And that is how it is. They will become part of the extinction. So I'm at the point where I'm saying, you know what, I've tried. Let that person die. It's killing themselves. They're killing themselves, and they're just utterly destructive in the way that they are. So let them die. That is cruel, but that is nature. Extinction events are events of nature. Things that are unable to change. And they have the ability to change. That is what about human being, we can change. We have the capacity to understand and to do. But if they don't use that capacity, they will die. And I'm at the stage of let them die. They are so determined, there's nothing I can do. I can't stop it. And the other thing is that there may be others around you that you can reach. They haven't changed yet, but they're open. Yeah, they will listen, they want to change, they just need to be shown the way. And whilst you are focusing all your energy on a hopeless case, you're losing the ones you could have saved. That's another thing. So, as far as I'm concerned, that person is determined to kill themselves. I've shown them the way, they've rejected it. I'm walking away. And that is again something that we might have to learn to do. You know, that death is a part of nature. It is not certain, and I don't know where does this actually lead us to eternal life. I don't know. We will most definitely live a lot longer if we stop fighting ourselves. Use the energy a bit more constructive than beating yourself soggy, hurting yourself, hurting others, not a constructive way. Will that lead to eternal life? I don't know, but I think it will increase our lifespan. I would say dramatically, most likely. So this is where I'm at. And I will again go back to using this on myself, accept the acceptance of myself, bringing out parts of my shadow that I haven't used and start using them. And again, what amount of energy do I give them? I might get it wrong a few times because I haven't used those characters, not quite sure how they work. So I need to start to learn how to work them to the best effect, to the best outcome. But that is the work I'm doing now, and that is what we must become. We must become the fullness of ourselves. We will need all that we are to get through this. Anyway, I leave it at that, and next time something comes up, I'll talk to you again. Bye.